Masterclass portion. So I am Marianne East. I am the Artistic Director of Lifelong Learning and Research, and I want to make sure that we say thank you to AARP, who helps to fund all of these Masterclasses so that we can attend pay as you will or for free. So thank you very much to AARP for that. And of course, thank you to Dr. Sáez for being here today and to talk us through her piece. We're excited to learn more about the background of it and about you. And so we are very grateful for our guest interviewer and instructor extraordinaire, one of our own conductors, Heather Fetro. And she's going to conduct an interview for a little bit. If you have questions, those of you on Zoom, put your questions in the chat and I will relay them out here at the appropriate time. But welcome, and we're excited to learn more about you and about this piece. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to interview a composer whose music I've known for years now. I actually came across your piece, Plena, before Temporal. Plena was a piece I did with about 60 middle school students at Strathmore Music Center, and they absolutely loved it. It was the piece that they were like, yes, every rehearsal when they got to it. And Temporal is the same for my chorale. Every time we get to it, they're like, yes, it's a fun piece. So I just wanted to share that with you as we start. And you know, a lot of things that you could know about Diana, actually. There's a whole lot of wonderful stuff on her website. But a couple things I wanted to highlight before we talk to you specifically is that she is a leading specialist in the field of Latin American music and an accomplished choral conductor as well. And she's frequently invited as a guest conductor, adjudicator, and lecturer in the United States and abroad. She is the Director of Choral Activities at Towson University, where she directs the University Chorale, the Women's Choir, and the Choral Society. She was also visiting choir director at Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois, and the visiting choir conductor at McDaniel College in Westminster, Maryland. And she directed the Catholic University Women's Choir for 6 years and served as artistic director of the World Bank-IMF Chorus for 16 years. So, anybody did World Bank? She's wondering, no. You never know in these groups. They've been around, yeah. So one of the things that I just wanted to share a quote from her to sort of kick us off, and you can tell me if this has changed or not, but she says, I am a firm believer that we must learn and teach music from different cultures. And by different cultures, I don't mean only the music from specific geographical areas, but also the music from different cultural groups within the United States, such as music created by the working class, the LGBTQ+ community, urban and rural areas, Native people, women of color, the Appalachian region, and my own community, I hope I pronounce it right, Latinx. Did I get it right? Latinx, yeah? So it rhymes with Kleenex. Get that right? I'm very proud. So I've already said what a big fan I am of yours. So I would just love to know, and the people at home too would love to know, they have some questions too. What is it like for you to write music? What is your process like when you write a piece of music?
This is kind of strange to talk about myself as a composer.
Yeah, talk right into the microphone.
It's a little bit weird for me to talk about myself as a composer because we are friends here. I don't consider myself a composer. So could I tell a little bit about my story and how I get there? So I grew up in I'm from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a very musical culture. So I was surrounded by music that was not necessarily formal. I started taking formal lessons later in life. But I am the daughter of Don Samuel, who used to carry the guitar in the trunk of the car just in case. But he never took a music lesson in his life, a formal music lesson. But he would play a great guitar. He would always sing. He would always harmonize. So I grew up, like improvising in a sense, like harmonizing by ear, playing guitar by ear. My formal education came later. And then I come to the States and, I started conducting choir. I always wanted to be a conductor. I started in my education and I noticed that there were not Latin American music was not, there was not enough music arranged, especially music that was accessible, because they would invite me a lot to go to schools and talk to students, and I wanted to share something about Puerto Rico, but there was nothing published, nothing. And that's how plena came into it. It's like, okay, we have this rhythm, we have this plena, which I would love to talk a little bit later about it. But it's like, what? There's nothing arranged for or published, because sometimes there are things arranged, yes, in Latin American countries, but they are not published. And here, this is illegal. We live in a very legal society in the States, right? So it's not right to go to just photocopy. And so I became a composer, I guess, by accident, out of need. And it's okay, if there's not a plena arranged for choir that is published, I guess I will have to write one.
Fantastic. Necessity, the mother of invention, right? They say. I love that. And you already described some of your musical influences. So I'll move on. The next question I have you experienced any discrimination as a Latinx? And what does that look like? Can you explain this term for us a little bit to Latinx, for those who might not be familiar with it?
Yes. So the short answer to your question is yes. I think I have felt discrimination, both as a woman and as a Latina. Both. As a woman, especially when you're young and you show up to a place and they look at you and they don't expect you to be or well prepared or to be good, right? And you feel it. And then when you can prove it, you're like, yes, take that one. And then, as a Latina, sometimes having an accent. I remember someone who actually told me, I offered to, do you want me to explain? Because they had invited me to work with this chorus and teach a Latin American piece in Spanish. I remember, it was from Venezuela. And I offered if I could, do you want me to explain to your audience? And they said, I don't think they will understand your accent. So it's fine with me. I don't really need to talk. So, sometimes things like that has happened. I think things have improved since the times I got here in the 80s. They have improved, but there's still a long way to go.
Thank you for sharing that. And also, how do you think that we in the music profession and the musical art form can create better practices in our hiring and our advocacy for composers and musicians from systemically disadvantaged backgrounds?
Yes, I think the short answer to that is to provide opportunities. Yeah, and I feel like what you did with me today and giving me this opportunity to share my experience, that's a way to start making the change by commissioning pieces, but I'm never assuming, because I have heard people say, but there are not enough people, there are not enough, African American composers. No, maybe you haven't done your research, so you have to go really out and learn about it and ask your friend, and don't be afraid if you don't know about it. I think what is important is to be open about that and be open to ask for help, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a beautiful answer. Ask for help. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I think we all sometimes can't admit that we need the help, but I think it's important to do, and we're considering some of the advocacy and awareness that you were talking about, the performance. And I wondered, because you're also a choral director, when you have a choral rehearsal, what are your top 3 priorities in that choral rehearsal? And do these priorities shift in any way when it's your composition being rehearsed? Like, do you prefer to conduct your own pieces or have others conduct them? That was 3 questions, but what do you think?
No, I love conducting my own pieces because I know them well. So it's fun. It's very moving it's very special when you go to a place and people are doing your music. I cannot describe that feeling. I remember like 3 years ago almost, we were commissioned, Suzette and I, which I have to talk about Suzette because we collaborate a lot. We were commissioned to do this piece. And same thing, we decided, okay, we are 2 Puerto Ricans, we should use a Puerto Rican rhythm, so we can use this opportunity to educate a little bit. And we wrote a piece for young voices based on another Afro-Puerto Rican rhythm, a bomba. And this was for one of these honor courses at ACDA. And I still remember walking into the room and listening to 200 young students singing something that you had written in a small bedroom. You know, my friend and I, it was like a retreat. We had been for 2 days doing nothing else but writing this and finishing it. And to hear it sang by real people, young people, I have no words to describe that feeling. Wow. But it had another part of the question.
Well, yes, I was just wondering what your priorities are in choral rehearsals. Do you have a top 3 for us, things you would like to work on as a conductor? Or does it depend on the piece, maybe?
Yeah, it depends on the piece.
It
depends on the piece. Sometimes the focus can be on, well, tuning is a big important. It's basic for me, right? I think one thing that I worked a lot that is not, you don't see much on the list, but to me it's very important that let's say the tenors are aware of what the sopranos are doing, especially if there's some kind of dialogue. I'm always saying that in my rehearsals. Let's isolate this. Are you aware that you are doing this duet here? Are you aware that there's like this conversation between tenors and sopranos? You know, that kind of thing. Because when we are aware, then the interpretation is going to be. But to me, the most important after making sure that they know the notes, tuning, rhythm is very important. Rhythm accuracy is very important to me. It's expression. It's because at the end of the day, we are doing all this to present it to an audience. So it shouldn't be a selfish thing. We are doing this, but we are giving, right? We are giving this beautiful melody or whatever, this beautiful piece of music. We are sharing it with an audience. And to me, the important thing is to have that effect with the audience. If we move the audience, then we've done our job.
Yep. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. We might have some questions from folks at home too. Do we, Marianne, have questions?
We do not yet, but I'm reminding them if they would like to ask some questions, please put them in the chat.
Don't be shy, folks. That's okay. I always have questions. So I would like to ask, maybe in this room, actually. Yes. Oh.
When you're composing, do you sing and play, and when you play, what instruments do you use?
I use the piano. That's my main instrument. But, you know, at the beginning you asked me about the process, and you came back to the process, and there's something I would like to share. So most of the things that I have arranged are based on folk rhythms, because that's my forte. It's my forte because I grew up surrounded by that. So I feel very comfortable with many Latin American rhythms, okay? So one of the things I do is I get very familiar with that style. I can tell you one example. I did a piece based on Afro-Peruvian rhythms, right? So you have to listen to those drums and you have to get those patterns. And in this case, they were like taka ta ta kan ta tan tan ti ta ta ti tan ta tan ta. Okay, now I have the pattern, so maybe I can add some music to that. Taka ta ta ra ta ran tan ti ra 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 tan. Okay, I would like to imitate the drum. So let's. What about toca que toca el tambor, toca que toca, and so on, right? So that's just one. So and then now this needs a melody. So then I make up a melody, and that needs it. You know, it's like little by little, and then you work on structure also. Sometimes this refrain comes and you got it, but now I need introduction, and I need some kind of bridge to get to whatever part. So, but that's me. It's like a very It's, and I have to say, it's not something that comes easy. It needs you. I need to isolate myself and spend a lot of time walking and singing in my mind. And thank God for those iPhones that you turn it on, and that idea I just start recording right away. Sometimes I'm in the car driving and I record it right away, and then I go back and say maybe I can incorporate this. You know, that's.
Can you take a couple more questions?
Yes.
And then we'll talk about your piece. You said you wanted to, yes? I saw one here and one here. Helene, do you want to ask? And back there too. We'll get you.
You referred to another piece as the bombas rhythm.
Yeah, the bombas.
What is the rhythm of temporal? What is the
Can you repeat, Heather, can you repeat the question?
So
for the
she wants
person? Thank you.
she wants to know what is the rhythm of temporal. Yeah, temporal is a plena. Plena, P-L-E-N-A. Plena, can you say plena? Plena. And plena was a rhythm that was created in the, by descendants of enslaved people in Puerto Rico. So one of the things that I share with my students a lot, because I love history, and now with the older I get, the more I like history, the more I like it. I think if we don't know our history, if we don't know the context of things, we are doomed, honestly. You know what I'm talking about. So, yes, so the people don't know that Africans had such a strong influence in Latin America. So Puerto Rico, you may go to Puerto Rico and you may see someone, or Cuba, and see them, they may be white, but the culture is so, the African culture is so ingrained, right? So in Puerto Rico, we have two Afro rhythms that were born in Puerto Rico. One was the bomba, but the bomba was created by actually enslaved people. This was during colonial times. They were still enslaved. They were allowed to play their drums, right? Very different to the U.S. In Puerto Rico, they were allowed to do at least once a week. They were allowed to do their dances. So these rhythms are very similar to what you would hear in Western Africa. But then plena is more modern. Plena is 20th century, beginning of the 20th century. Now slavery has been abolished, and you have these poor communities, right, mostly in the coastal areas. They're impoverished, but they still have drums, now they're singing, and they use the plena, they create this rhythm, which we like to call it like the sang, S-U-N-G, right, sang newspaper, because everything that happened in that neighborhood, it could be a fight between two lovers, whatever, and they would write a plena, or they would, if they wanted to comment on something political that happened, they would write a plena, or just for fun, they would write a plena, right? And temporal is a plena, it's just a comment, temporal, there comes the hurricane, the storm, which is something that, we are very familiar with, right? So that's the plena. The plena is very repetitive. The plena is still very. This is not something for us. Bomba and plena is not something from the past. The younger generations have, they feel very proud of it. And if you see a Puerto Rican march, protests, not march, a protest. If you go to in Puerto Rico, are they protesting or are they partying? You are going to be really confused because they will bring their hand drums, the plena, the ones that you use for the plena, and they will create a plena in the moment that people will, and then you create this dialogue, this call and response.
That is so interesting. I'm going to let you speak into the microphone with your question.
Oh, hi. When did you compose temporal, and was specific temporal in mind? Is there some?
Yeah.
When did you compose temporal, and was there a specific temporal in mind?
That's an interesting question. Temporal, I didn't compose temporal. This is a traditional plena. It's a traditional, very traditional. So I took the refrain, and like I say, I added, in this case, I added the introduction, I added the tum-tums, and I added a little verse. And so when did I compose it? I actually used plena to do a lot of workshop with young students. And then from there, it took years for me to say, oh, this could become a nice choral arrangement. And then Maria happened. Hurricane Maria, 2017, right? And that's when I added the text, Se levanta el pueblo, a son de tambores, no tumbe el viento ni de mil temblores. The story behind is that I was there during Maria, and it was very, very humbling. So the next day you go out, and a place that one day before is all green, beautiful, you come out the next day and it looks like it burned. It was burned like a big fire came through, and there's not one single leaf, one on the trees. Imagine a tropical place with nothing green, with no leaves in the trees. So it was very it was very humbling is the word that keeps coming, because we come to life, we never know what's going to happen. We are so arrogant sometimes as human beings, and in one day everything changed. And I remember coming back and thinking, we will never recover from this, impossible. I remember I was actually crying at the airport with my husband, telling him, we will never recover, this is it. This is the end of the island. That's how I felt. So I come back 6 months later, and of course we are still there. And of course people are still playing drums. And of course people are back to dancing and singing. And because people are resilient, and people are like, it was amazing. So that little verse is a tribute to that.
That's wonderful. We have one more question. Do we have time for it, Catherine, before we get back to rehearsal? One more. Can you speak into the mic? Yes.
Can you describe how you collaborate with your collaborator, Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, I would love to. Yes.
So my friend Suzette and I, we're very good friends. That helps. Suzette was a choral teacher. I don't know how many of you have heard of this neighborhood called Camden, New Jersey. In the 80s, Camden, New Jersey, 90s, it didn't have a good reputation. We have to, right? It was one of the most poor cities in the U.S. It's right across from Philadelphia. And she was a choral teacher at a high school, an arts teacher there. And that choir, they got many awards. She took these kids all over to Puerto Rico, to Ghana, to Austria. Amazing. But Suzette, like a very good Puerto Rican, she can do like 3 things at the same time. She was a teacher. She was also a jazz and salsa piano player. She loves to compose. And now that she retired, we have time to get together and do our things. So in this case of Temporal, I had already composed the whole thing. It was a cappella. Because you can do it a cappella, because with drums. And I said, it would be so cool if you can add a piano part. Actually, something happened that she started playing the piano. Let's include the piano part. And then after that, we have collaborated for other compositions. The bomba that we did for that commission, we did it together, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So it's really a privilege and a luxury when you find someone, a colleague, a friend like that you are very similar or have similar experiences and put together. We complement and complement both each other.
Wonderful. It's just wonderful to hear stories like yours and how you've overcome some discrimination as well. It's very inspiring, wouldn't we agree? It was very inspiring, your chat today, so thank you so much. Thank you. And now I think I'll turn it back to Catherine. Okay.
I have to have the black next to the computer.
Okay.
So I hope it doesn't distract.
All right. Do you want to wear this?
Let's wear it.
Yeah.
Make sure that they hear me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, I'm gonna steal a stool
Yeah.
as well so I don't fall off of that little stool there. All right, do you want to start at the beginning? It's life-changing. It's literally, and the best part is, Diana, it's because it's facial recognition. Watch. Ready?
That's magic.
Do you want to score? I have a paper score.
Yeah, but I have it around just so I can refer to it. Okay. So now I want to hear you. What did you think that I was not going to hear you? So let's start with let me hear that introduction, right? Or you want to do a run through?
Oh no, you do. You can run all the way through. That's great.
Yeah. Let's do a run through and then we'll come back. Okay, so let's go. Allá viene, go. Allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene. Very good. Okay, let's take this. The first thing I would suggest is that you memorize the refrain. You know temporal, temporal, you say that at least 1,000 times. So you got that already, right? So I'm going to say the text with the rhythm, and you're going to repeat after me. And I want you to consider that we shouldn't read this as poetry, so we don't need to be like over-enunciating the syllables, because this is like the way we talk. You know, it's not temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal, allá viene el temporal. So they say, temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. Can we say that? Ready? Go. Temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. Again. Temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. Just sing that. Temporal, just sing it that way. The same way you just say it. Ready, go. Temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal. Yeah, but now when you're singing, you messed it up a little bit. It has to be the same way you just said. Temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. Do it again. Ready, and temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal, allá viene el temporal. And then the next phrase, what is it? ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? You know the phrase ¿qué será? ¿Qué será será? Which means it's exactly the same. What's going to happen? ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? And that O is not important. Almost drop it. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? Somos ri and let's okay? ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? So the reason you kind of drop the co is because you have to be on time for cuando llegue. That's more important. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue el temporal? ¿Qué será de mi borín cuando llegue el temporal? That's important. Cuando llegue el temporal. We have to be there on that first syllable, okay? No one has asked me what borinque means. Or do you already know what it is?
Puerto Rico.
Ah, so you know. Okay, good. Yes.
Friends online,
Yes, so-
please stay muted.
I'll explain it anyway.
So Borinquen is the Taino Indians. They would call the island Boriquen. Boriquen. And then from Boriquen, it became Borinquen, Borinquen, Borincano, Boricua, but all those. Everything comes out of that. Borinqueño, Borinqueña, there are many, many different ways of saying that. But the original was Boriquen, then it, ¿qué será de mi Borinquen? Eventually, we added an N, Borinquen.
So it's a native.
Is the native name of the island. Before any Spaniard arrived, the island had a name. It was called Boriquen. Yeah.
I don't think I knew that. I thought it was just like a sort of a pet name or a...
No. That was a real name. Like, yeah, the Taino Indians call it Boriquen. It's like, have you heard about coqui in Puerto Rico? Have some of you heard? The coqui is the little frog from Puerto Rico. It goes... I cannot do it because I don't know how to. But coqui. So the natives would also, the name is a Taino. The word hamaca comes from the Taino Indians. Hammock. Hamaca, hammock, is from the Taino Indians. So, these guys, they have their language too. Okay, so, ¿qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue el temporal? ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen cuando llegue el temporal? So, we need to move it a little bit more. So, let's see if we can do this chorus again. Let's do it several times, and let's see if we can do it faster. And try not to look down so much, okay? Let's do it. Temporal, temporal, allá viene temporal, 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 allá viene. I already changed the key, you see?
Sorry, I should have seen
It's too high for me. Temporal. Okay, let's start. Just that part. Try to do it by memory as much as you can. 1, 2, 1, Temporal, temporal, de temporal, 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 de temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen cuando llegue temporal? Temporal, temporal. Okay. Stop 1 second. Let's see if we can get the rhythm of the second temporal.
Muted.
Temporal, 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 temporal. It's syncopated. Temporal, temporal. Can we do that 4 times in a row? Just those two
If you
things.
do not stay
Ready,
muted,
go.
I'm going to have to remove you. Please keep your mics muted.
Temporal, temporal. Again. Temporal, temporal. Last time. Temporal, temporal. That's the rhythm. Okay? Let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Temporal, temporal. Temporal, temporal, temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? And then you go, ¿qué será de Puerto Rico? No, ¿qué será de Puerto Rico? 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 So maybe we can do them shorter, las sílabas. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? Okay, let's sing that. Ready, go. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen cuando llegue? I repeat. Temporal, temporal. Yes. Allá viene temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen cuando llegue temporal? And this is the important part because it's the part I wrote, so you have to do it. Se levanta el pueblo, okay? So can I hear that? So your tum-tums are not as important. Excuse me. Okay. Se levanta, 1 and 2, go. Se levanta el pueblo a son de tambor. No nos tumbe el viento, ni 10,000 tembló. Somos resilientes, somos luchadores. No nos tumbe el viento, ni 10,000 tembló. Temporal, temporal. Yes. So, can we do this part again? And work on the transition. So, da, 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 da. No, no tumbe el viento. Do you know exactly what you're saying there? What is the translation? No, no tumbe el viento, ni 10,000 tembla. Exactly, exactly. Not 1,000 earthquakes, nor the wind is going to take us down. No. Because you know that after Hurricane Maria, it was a bad time. Because it was like a year after or something, there was a little earthquake. It was not huge like Haiti or anything. But for us it was, because it was in the south, and right after Maria, people were recovering. And there were some public schools that got so damaged that they had to close. So, I mean, it was really bad. So it was, so then not even 10,000 earthquakes are going to take us down, bring us down, right? So this is what the hope, the hopeful message that you're carrying. Let's do that again. Se levanta el pueblo, 1 and 2 and. Se levanta el pueblo, hace de no, no tumbe el viento, ni 10,000 temblores. Somos resilientes, somos luchadores. No, no tumbe el viento, ni 10,000 temblores. Temporal, temporal, temporal. Allí viene temporal, temporal, temporal. Allá viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi Borinquen cuando llegue temporal? Tum tum tum, tum tum tum, tum tum tum. And then we start soft, tum tum tum. Allá viene, there it comes. Allá viene, allá viene. A little bit, every time a little bit more. Allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá. Okay, I have a comment. Basses tenors, do you really have to look down to sing tum tum tum? Tum tum tum.
I profess my undying love to you right now. Thank you.
Tum tum tum. Tum tum tum. Yes, yes, yes.
I look down to count them. So
I understand.
But there, I have one other question.
Yeah.
The last page is page 10.
Uh-huh.
And we
Uh-huh.
have them closing them.
Tum 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 tum.
But now you want a crescendo. So do we open it again?
No, 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 that's what you're doing is fine. Tum 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 tum. You can, yeah. Yeah, so can we start from the, where were we? So you know how I count? When the first sopranos, they do.
Yeah.
After the third one, that's the last one. That's how you know also.
Ask them if anyone has told them that before.
I'm sure you have. Listen, I go to high schools all the time.
Listen, I was literally up here going, 3.
Yeah.
I got my fingers out, friends. 2. Yeah.
I visit high schools all the time, and I say things, and then I look at the teacher. I'm sure you've told them this, and they always go like, yeah, yes, yeah. Someone had a question. Yeah, you.
Well, I was just going to comment. You made it very clear when we would go with that last.
Oh yeah.
You made it perfectly clear.
Yeah, and I'm sure she can do it clear too. She can give us, if she goes like this. What else do you need? But you have a question too.
It's a pronunciation question.
Yes, go ahead.
From the previous section.
That's fine. What is it?
It sounds like you are pronouncing it cuando llegue.
Cuando lleguen.
Cuando llegue.
Well, no, it's not only Puerto Rican. Most Latin American countries we pronounce it like DJ a little bit. Lleguen, llegar. Yeah. Cuando llegue. But this is what I would say, don't overdo it. If you say llegue, it's fine. Because it's better to say llegue than llegue, and then it was an awkward, right? So in Latin America, so this is the thing, that we pronounce, depending, it could be from llegue, which is like Y-E, right? Llegue, all the way to Argentinians who go llegue. Is there anyone Argentinian here or Uruguayan? Llegue, caballo, they say caballo, or caballo, but the funny thing is that we understand it doesn't change the meaning. Okay, so that's important to know, it doesn't change the meaning. It doesn't come out as too much. Yeah, but we say llegue. It's very soft, very tiny, tiny, tiny. Okay, so let's do this part again. From here, and then what comes after that again? Temporal, temporal. So that's what I'm telling you. Even if you look down once in a while, if you memorize this refrain, it's gonna come out more relaxed. Okay? Because you're repeating this refrain. We can count later. I haven't figured it out yet. No, I haven't said yet. So, but let's start at your verses. Se levanta el pueblo. Let's start from there. Okay? Yeah. 1 and 2, go. Se levanta el pueblo a sonar. No nos tumbe el viento, ni 10,000 templos. Somos resilientes, somos luchadores. No nos tumbe el viento, ni 10,000 templos. ¡Ay! Temporal, temporal, ay, viene temporal. Temporal, temporal, ay, viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi morir cuando llegue temporal? Tum, tum, tum. Tum, tum, tum. Tum, tum, tum. Tum, tum, tum. Allá viene. Allá viene. Allá viene. Allá viene. Allá viene. Todos por allá viene. Tum, tum, tum. Todos podemos ver. Viene. Tum, tum, tum. ¡Ay! Temporal, temporal. Yeah. Allá viene temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi morir cuando llegue temporal? Temporal, temporal. Allá viene temporal. Temporal, temporal. Yes, it's getting better. Okay, we are going to do it once more, but let me get my guiro. So we have at least some percussion here. I forgot I brought it.
I'm in awe of your piano playing all the time. Oh my gosh, you're so nice. So good. But look at this. No, here, I set them up with an F natural. Did you see that?
I love it so much.
Yeah, but then they've got to sing.
I know, I love it so much. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
but
You're so good.
Thank you.
This is not easy
You're
to
so
play
good.
that
Listen,
rhythm.
Jonathan, I just realized something. I gotta tell the altos this because I set them up with an F, right? So.
Oh,
hear that F?
yeah.
And they've got to sing.
Yeah, she did it on purpose. Yeah, she did it on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, altos, can you look with me on page 8 quickly? Because as you know, as we are learning these together and I lead from the piano, I'm often playing parts, but now I'm playing the accompaniment and I lead in on page 6 with an F natural. Listen. So, do you hear that? I've got it on the top. sing an F. Yeah. And you have heard this.
Oh, that's
And
for your.
again and again. Do not let it mislead you. Find your F sharp. And same for us. The chord that you're hearing is not what you lead out with. You found it, right? But it's funny. That's a fun rhythm.
Yeah,
There's
she
some
did it on
fun
purpose. Yeah,
dissonances
it's
in
fun.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene. Yeah, you have to move through. Allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene. Okay, so let's work a little bit on the introduction. So you can tell that as the way I wrote this is to create that anxiety. The problem with hurricanes is that they're announced for 2 weeks before. And then sometimes now it's not coming as bad. But when like Maria, right? It was like oh my God, it's horrible because you don't know what's coming and you know it's getting close. And then finally the first winds come. It was very humbling to be there because I've been in the States for at least 40 years. So I had never lived through a real big one. I have missed most of them. So this was the first time that I lived through one of those. It's very hard because this period of waiting is this anxiety. You don't know how bad it is going to be. And this is, so can we hear the first two notes? Allá viene, allá viene, ya viene, allá viene. There it comes. That's what you're saying. There it comes, there it comes, there it comes, there it comes. Right? So we need to keep that in mind as we're creating that anxiety. So bases, go straight to the allá viene, allá viene. Let's hear that. 1, 2. Allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene. So we can take a little bit, you are going to watch her, because that's kind of ad lib, okay? Allá viene. You're the last one, so I can take time. Allá viene, yeah, say, yeah, yeah. Do that rhythm, yeah, yeah. Say that? Yeah, do, yeah, allá viene. That's why you should, nothing in between. Okay, 2, again. Allá viene, allá viene, allá viene, allá viene. And now together. Allá So let's review. Let's do the tenors first.
Can I
Yeah.
ask?
Yeah.
When do you and then I'll have a
And
question
then the
for you.
basses, yeah.
What do you recommend for basses?
Oh, it's too high. They can do it. They can do it low. They can.
Oh?
Yeah.
The basses now love you forever.
Yes. Oh.
Can they just go down?
Yeah. Or if they can sing this an octave lower, but that's too. Yeah.
Ah, basses. Did you hear that?
Yeah. So let's practice that with the tenor. Let's do it. You do it an octave lower. Oh, yo bien. 1, 2, go. Oh, yo bien. Yes. Ta-da. Yes. Okay, let's do that again. Remember, allá viene to a. Allá viene el tempo. Temporal. Right? You gotta do it again. Allá viene el tempo. It's flat. da-da-da. Let's have the altos do that. Allá viene, which is hard for you too, so you could also do allá viene.
That's actually what you printed. You were
Okay,
nice.
because I'm an alto, you see?
You were so
That's
nice.
why.
Yeah.
Allá viene. Allá viene. Two, go. Allá viene el temporal. Okay, we have to learn that tenor circle, that temporal. Is that what it is, right? Temporal. Okay. Yeah? You want to do it once more by yourselves? Allá viene. Go. Allá viene temporal. Do that with the sopranos. Allá viene. And go. Allá Let's have the altos do that. And go. But once click, stay there, don't let it move. Okay, everyone, and go. Okay, I just want to use the guiro a little bit, so you get, so every time you do Afro-derived music, the beat,
Wait.
tuk, tuk, it's like
Say that
beat,
sentence again.
beat,
Every time you
beat,
do what?
beat, 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 B-E-A-T, ta, ta, you have to feel that. Temporal, ka, 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 temporal, ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi borinquen cuando llegue temporal? Listen to me and see if you can sing at the same time with me inside, okay? So you can assess yourself. 1, 2, Temporal, temporal, vaya viene temporal, 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 vaya viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi borinquen cuando llegue temporal? Let's do it a little bit slower because we are going to do it a little bit slower, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2. Just me. Temporal, temporal, vaya viene temporal, 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 vaya viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi borinquen cuando llegue temporal? Se levanta el pueblo a tener tambores. So that bing, boom, boom, boom. It hasn't changed, you know. Okay, so I'll keep marching. Let's start right where the song starts.
All right.
Temporal, temporal, vaya viene temporal. Sing on the softer side so you can focus on the rhythm and the text. 1, 2, 1, 2, T, and temporal, temporal, vaya viene temporal, 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 vaya viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi borinquen cuando llegue temporal? Temporal, temporal, vaya viene temporal, 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 vaya viene temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico cuando llegue temporal? ¿Qué será de mi borinquen cuando llegue temporal? Se levanta el pueblo, no tumbe el viento, ni de mis temblores. Somos resilientes, somos luchadores, no tumbe el viento, ni de mis temblores. Temporal, temporal, vaya viene That's it. Yay. So having percussion helps. That's why this is percussion drive music, right? Because you keep that beat. They help you keep that beat the whole time. Yeah, it's not Brahms, guys. This is not Brahms. You wanted to say something? Oh, well, if you get some good percussionists.
We're going to bring Deanna in to all of our concerts.
So these are the things that I learned not in school. I didn't learn this in school, right? Yeah. Yeah, thank you, sorry.
Can we tell Deanna how much we appreciate her?
So awesome. This was awesome. Awesome.
All right, friends, we need a photo. You ready?
Yes,
All right, here, let's see how we do this. Oh, you got it? Okay.
So maybe we can be here.
Oh, right, she's going up there. All right. This here. And the cheerleading is in there too. I love it. All right.
You know, I need signs like this for my students.
You're great front and back. Did you see that?
Oh my gosh, this is such a big group.
I know. This is
All right, squeeze in. No, just squeeze in a little bit. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, say temporal. Say, ay, ay, ay.
All right. Thank you, friends, for joining us online. We appreciate the patience with this first time doing something like this and figuring out sound and picture and all of those things. So thank you very much for your patience. I hope that you enjoyed it and you learned something. This is being recorded, so if you want to go back to it, Hi, Catherine says hi. Hi, thanks for joining us. If you want to come back to the recording, give Ryan a few days to process it and make it look pretty. But you can access it from our new Encore University page. Just go down to the bottom and there will be a button that says recordings. It'll take you to the YouTube and you can watch any of the master classes on there. So thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye, guys.